today, day 7 of 12 days of Christmas. So 7 swans are swimming. What could we be doing today? Let's get started. Okay, so a little march on the spot while I explain. So 7 swans are swimming. So when you think about swans, you think the elegance, the stationary. You see them stationary on the water, but somehow at some point they're quite strong and powerful in their movements. They're very, very strong, these swans. So that made me think, okay, so stationary and strong. So stationary, isometric contraction. So it's a holding exercise, and strong, energy and power. So we're going to do some body weight exercise. We're going to do 7 TV exercises and 7 exercises on the floor, some of which are holding exercise, so that's stationary swan on the water, and some of the exercises on the floor are powerful, so it's the power of the swan. Okay, here we go. So little march, hopefully you're marching. So all you need is a bit of space on the floor. You don't need any weights or anything else. A little bit of energy, a little bit of enthusiasm, and a little bit of get up and go. So the first exercise, so cardiovascular. So we're just going into heel digs. So we're going to keep our shoulders back and down. Our heels are coming forward. So you can do it at a pace that is appropriate for you today. So think about posture. So tucking the pelvis forward and under. Keep the tummy muscles nice and tight. So engage, push your tummy to the backbone. Squeezing the shoulder blades and pushing the shoulders back down your back and relaxing through the shoulders. Keep the chin tucked in, so we're not coming forward like this. Keep the chin tucked in. So arms up in front, still tapping forward. Okay, your next exercise is a step forward and raise the knee up. So after 3, 2, 1, so as a step and a knee. So we maintain the arm movements, we just change the leg movements. We don't want to do too much of the same arm movement, so let's change it. Okay, out to the side. So step with the knee raise. So that knee can come up to hip height. The stride could be small, or the stride could be long. So if you take that stride longer, try not to hollow and kick and come back. So keep the back nice and upright as you come forward. You can increase the pace with the arms. You can do double. You can slow it down. Just make sure you're lifting the knees to the chest, not the chest to the knees. Okay, another 5 seconds. I'm going to take it into step touch. We can keep the arms as they are. Okay, let's step touch. So step touch. You can keep a bend at the elbow, or you can make the arms long, crossing over the body. Let's change the arms. Let's add a little bit of a swoop. So in adding a swoop, it'll encourage you to lengthen to your top of your shoulders, from your ears to the tip of the shoulders. Now that little tap to the side could be a small movement, could be a large movement. Keep the arms nice and close to the body so it doesn't encourage you to round your shoulders. A little tap to the side, kids just keeping those elbows, those heels raised. So tendency is to do this and come forward. So notice you stand up, chest raised, taking the arms to the side. So we've got another 10 seconds doing this. Then we're maintaining the movement from side to side, just kicking the heels towards your bottom for a hamstring curl. So here we go, so hamstring curl. So think same heel, same buttock. Try not to cross over, this is wrong. So this is wrong, it's going to pull through your knees, not going to do your hips any good. So same heel, same bottom. Let's change the arms. So tapping the heel, tapping the shoulders and pushing up. So heels towards your bottom. So hamstring curls. The next exercise is a box step. You're starting that stride, stepping back rather than forward. You instigate the movement, initiate the movement, stepping back onto the toes and forward onto the heels. So we've got 10 seconds left. I'm going to start to drop the arms down. So punching, bending the elbow, coming forward. So I'm going to move that movement, take it to a march just to reset. So step back and forward. Step back on the toes, heels, forward on the heels. So back on the toes, forward on the heels. Keep those arms floating back and forth. Again, you can take those arms higher and quicker if you want to. Keep that stride nice and wide. Keep the knees nice and soft. Pelvis tucked under to keep the alignment of the back. Lift with the arms, don't shrug with the shoulders. And tap and change. So tap and change. So you're leading with that opposite leg. Got 15 seconds left. So you can drop the arms if you get tired. You can make that movement smaller. You can make that movement larger. So you just make it your own. We're going into Spotty Dogs. So that's when the arms come up in front and you're tapping out behind. So Spotty Dogs. So again, keep that movement, keep it rhythmic. Tapping back with those toes, keeping those arms nice and high up in front. Try not to drop the chin. Keep looking ahead to keep that spinal alignment. So a nice straight line through the spine. You have natural curves of the spine, but we're trying to keep it upright and supported where possible. Okay, so we've got 25 seconds left. This is your 6th of your 7th exercise. Your 7th exercise before we get down on the floor will be a squat. So hopefully our legs are nicely warmed up. So we can do a free squat, a good quality squat, or just a knee bend. Or you can do these exercises behind the chair as well. Just make it your own. So a little mark to reset. Think about a squat. Knees soft, arms coming forward. So again, pushing back with your heels. You can hold onto a chair and do this. All the exercises that you did, that I've done, can be done by the side of a chair or behind a chair. So it's exercise to suit all. You'll let you just hold onto the chair and you can just do the leg movements if you want to. So sitting down, pushing through the heels, making sure you push through both heels as you push up, and as you sit back, don't come forward, sit back. Sit your bottom back, take those arms forward, don't scrunch those shoulders up. You've got another 8 seconds left. And after 8 seconds, we'll start the exercises on the floor, and this is definitely where the jumper goes. Okay, so a little march. So again, this gives you time to maybe lose a layer like I am, or to grab a mat. So the next 7 exercises will be carried out on the floor. I'll give you a couple of options for each exercise, and you can decide which you're going to do. So our show is show and do. Okay, so get yourself down to the floor, however suits you and your conditions. Be careful with knee conditions or replacement knees, obviously not to put too much weight, if at all, on the knees. So this needs to be adapted. Okay, so your first exercise is a press up. So easiest option, I'll turn this down, is a box press up. So a box press up is placing the hands down to the floor. You can turn the hands out just a little bit to take the pressure off your wrist. You can take your hands in a fist position, put your weight down here. So the wrists sit underneath your shoulders, knees under your hips. Nice neutral spine, so it's not sticking your bottom up, pelvis tucked under, back nice and flat. Push the tummy to the backbone, keep the shoulders relaxed and down. Easiest option, either with your hands flat or using the knuckles to the floor. If you've got problems, discomfort through your wrists, you can use your fingers as so. Next option is taking the knees back, so 3/4 press up. Again, keep your back nice and flat, pushing down to the floor and up. Then you've got your full press ups. So again, pushing down to the floor and pushing up. Okay, so whichever option you choose, go for it now. So I'm going to do the 3/4. So I'm keeping my head in line with the spine. So if you're doing yours, you can just think about the movement. So the weight needs to come forward. Don't allow it to drop back. So it's a bit like a triangle. As your head lowers down to the floor, you've got your tips of your fingers to your left, your forehead at the top of the triangle, and your tips of fingers to the right side of the triangle. With your breathing, you can slow the pattern down. Breathe in and breathe out on exertion. Just keep it smooth and controlled. If you're finding you're struggling, you can go back to that easier option. If you're finding that you've got enough energy and you can do a little bit more, go to that higher option. So again, you need to push the hands forward. Make sure your hands are hip width, shoulder width apart. So you're pushing down and up. You've got 8 seconds left. See if you can push it to the end. After 8 seconds, take a little deep breath in. Sit back onto your heels if you can. Only a short rest. Come up again. I'll show you the exercise. I call it the sprint start. Just coming up, think you're sprinting. So hands are coming forward. If you're struggling here, you can put your forearms on the floor and do this movement here. It'll be a lot slower. And again, you can put your fists into the floor if you want to. I'm going to go through my fists this time because my wrists are aching just a little. So sprint start. So it's coming forward. Change. So coming forward here. Let's keep the t-shirt down. So sprint start. So you've got 2 sort of explosive exercises. Do from an angle. 2 explosive exercises, and then we're going to change the mode. So it's coming back and forth. So we've got another 10 seconds left. So coming back and forth. Work until you can't, rest until you can. Okay, have a little rest. Forearms onto the floor, into holding plank. You can take the knees back, hold this position here, lift up and lower. We've got 1 minute. Choose your position. 3, 2, 1, let's go. So you could stay with that higher option or take that lower option if you want to. So as I said about the swans, you imagine picturing the River Wye, looking across at the swans, majestically just sort of floating there. But they have that explosive time as well, where they suddenly reach up and go across the water, skim across the water. But we are that swan, that first glance in the water, on the water, not going anywhere, almost totally stationary, exactly as our muscles are doing now, or our joints. Our muscles are working hard. We've got 5 seconds left. Have I distracted you enough? 3, 2, 1. Lovely. Reach down, push back. You've done 2 explosive exercises and 1 holding exercise. So we're just mixing it up a little bit. So I'll give you a short rest. You've got 15 seconds rest while I show you the next exercise. Next exercise, either flat hands, arms out to the side, fists to the floor. Coming up to the side. Try to get your feet either side of your hands. If you come to here, that's fine. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's go. So the modification would be to get the foot close as you can to the back of that hand. The hand sits under your shoulders, but if you can, lift, work through the hips, bring the feet up and forward around the side of your hands. So it's coming up and finishing here. Finishing here. Just move back a bit. So again, work to your own level. We've got 15 seconds left. After 15 seconds, we've got another holding exercise. Just keep it going. Okay, and rest there. So again, just sit back. Oh. So we'll just have a little lie down on your back. Not for long, hey. So all over body stretch. Point the fingers. Excuse me. Point the toes. Get your breath back. So point your fingers, point your toes. Okay, so the next exercise is a holding exercise, although you might think you're doing a holding exercise now. Okay, and release. Come back up. Let me see. Okay, so taking the hands down to the floor. Wrist sitting under your shoulders. Again, you can turn the wrist out. If you turn the wrist out, so you sort of turn the elbows, so the crease of the elbows facing forward. So sometimes if your wrists are sore, you can do that and then just turn the wrist forward. You can have your hands facing forward or your knuckles to the floor. Exercise is a holding exercise. So go into your box position. Tummy tucked under, head in line with your spine. Push your toes into the floor, just lift your knees up off the floor. So I'm going to turn my wrist out to the side. My crease and my elbows are holding forward. So my knees are off the floor. My toes are tucked into the floor and I'm breathing nice and deeply. We've got about 40 minutes left. 40 minutes? 40 seconds left doing this. So make sure your weight's forward. Really suck the tummy to the backbone. So just the tips of your toes are onto the floor and your knees are off the floor. Keep breathing. Breathing in through your nose and out through the mouth. You can do staccato breathing, which is, well, let's say 5 breaths in through the nose, so, and out through the mouth. So into your nose and out through your mouth. Takes your mind off of it and nothing else. You've got 3, 2, 1, and relax down. Back onto your back. Not too much of a rest this time. Hands down to the floor. If you turn the back of the hands onto the floor, you're going to help rotate the shoulders and get your shoulders supported on the floor. Keep your head down to the floor. You can pop something underneath your head if you want to support the neck. And think about, take a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out, think about as you're breathing out, push the head down into the floor, your shoulders down into the floor, your middle back, lower back, tailbone, and then release. So next movement, please watch the time. Lifting the legs up. Okay, and we're going to circle the legs. So circling the legs, that's all. Circle, circle, circle. So as quickly as you can. So stabilize your pelvis. So as the pace increases, you'll want to rock on the floor that little bit more. So really suck the tummy in nice and tight. Stabilize your pelvis to the floor. Keep the shoulders back and down. So quicker the movement, the more the core needs to tighten up. So again, keep your head raised, looking up to the ceiling, just cycling movements. Work until you can't, rest until you can. Shoulders back. Keep going. We've got about another 15 seconds left. We've got one more exercise. So somehow that helps, doesn't it? It helps make you think, do I give it a little bit more welly or do I slow it down? So just make sure those hips are square to the floor. Okay, you're done. Put those knees down. 2 options here. Reverse plank, it's one way of calling it. So the easiest option, drawing your forearms into the floor, pushing the pelvis up. So first option here, so keep your back nice and straight, tummy muscles nice and tight. You can take it to here, lift and hold, or you can take it right up and hold it in this position here. You've got those 3 options. Think which option you'd like to do. Maybe have a quick trial. So, excuse me, I'm going to do 1 minute and then that's it. So assume position. So I'm going to take my hands out, push up. 3, 2, 1. We're in position. We've got 1 minute. So we can talk about the weather, how much you've enjoyed this session or not, what you've been doing, what you're going to do later today, and just think about your breathing. So deep breaths in. So inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. You can always drop down a level if you want to. So again, keep breathing, keep that pelvis nice and high. Do you know what? You're over halfway. Good or bad, I don't know. I think it's last exercise. Do it to the end. Work until you can't, rest until you can. Is anything shaking yet? Anything waving at me? Those arms shaking? Or maybe you're getting cramp. If you're getting cramp, just move out of that movement and join in as soon as you can. You don't want to miss out on all the fun. You've got 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1, and lower down. Don't collapse, just lower down. And you know what? We're only doing short sessions. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and I wonder what's going to be tomorrow. Have a fantastic day. Keep exercising. Keep doing this again. Like it if you like it. Let people know about this. It's here for you. Take care. All the best. Have a lovely day. Bye.